Straight to the point. Has the crisis in aviation ended, or we are just in the middle or in the beginning of a new crisis? Because crisis over crisis is actually what's going on for the last few years in all of the aviation industry and sectors.
First of all, thank you for coming to Bulatsa. Welcome to Bulatsa. You're invited anytime. It's always a pleasure talking with you. So we jumped from one crisis to another one because we started with COVID crisis. It was almost zero flights in our sky. So after that, the shortage of staff generated another crisis. So we jumped from one crisis to another one. It's a really complicated period because now the demand is significantly higher. People are willing to fly again, to go somewhere on vacation. And this lack of personnel everywhere in the aviation sector brings us to the situation where the demand is significantly higher than the supply. So if we don't take particular measures for the next summer, we can expect another significant delays in European airspace and airports.
Contrary to all our expectations in the aviation industry and all the sectors involved, including airlines and also air traffic agencies across Europe, Bulatsa in Bulgaria was one of the places, one of the regions which actually managed to do quite well. Even throughout the pandemic and after that, during the last very chaotic summer in Europe. But there were other agencies who didn't manage to do that well. So we are emerging as one of the leaders. What will be the lessons learned from everything that was ongoing during that period? And how are actually we positioning now in regard to all of the analysis that has been done and all the future forecasts that you're doing here based on your thorough expertise?
We strongly believe here in Bulatsa that investing during the crisis is very crucial. So what we did during the crisis, we performed some math analysis regarding the traffic forecast, regarding the investments, and we decided not to stop hiring controllers and engineering and to postpone the crucial technical projects. So it was really successful. And as I said before, investing during the crisis is really crucial to generate capability after the crisis. So we did it, and it was a successful story for us. So we have a forecast for the next 10 years. We have some concrete plans based on math analysis, which we think that investing properly in technical projects and air traffic controllers and engineers will lead us in the next 10 years in a situation where we will not generate any delays in our airspace. The story is not the same in the majority of the air navigation service providers in Europe. And many times they've asked us, okay guys, what you've done, why you don't generate delays in your airspace? So we are really supportive, and every time when somebody asks us for any kind of support or help, we share all the actions that we have done during the crisis.
So nowadays we are a sort of partner in regard to best practices and expertise.
Yeah, being partner is very important, because sharing the good ideas will bring your know-how to the others, which means that it would be in favor with the whole European airspace.
We know that even before the crises, before the pandemic and all of that, giving the initiative for a single European sky, there were many parallel initiatives that are ongoing in regard to optimization of the airspace, optimization of air traffic control, optimization of all the processes regarding approach, departures from the airports and so on. Did the crisis actually stop all of those processes? Did it make them transform in any way, or was that just the trigger to actually make all of those transformational processes going even faster?
The main
and accelerate the change.
Yeah, the main and the big problem here is the gap between the political expectations and the reality. So normally it's a top-down approach. Normally politicians decide to do something and they're trying to impose their decisions on the professionals in aviation sectors. This significant gap creates some significant problems, and this lack of communication and discussion between politicians and the professionals leads us to even in a worse situation than before, because increasing the traffic and not investing and developing some real projects which might contribute to the better service, having in mind that pressure from the politicians. Okay, finally we have the situation like this. Why? They're trying to impose administrative reform without any practical projects, and they think that this purely administrative reform will solve the capacity problems in European airspace. We professionals, we believe that it's not possible. We are pushing them to sit around the table and to start negotiating for some real technical projects which will support the controllers and the air navigation service providers to enhance capacity and to reduce delays. This is very simple for us.
Is that the solution?
For us, yeah. Interoperability between the air traffic management systems, starting doing some practical investments and practical technical projects will contribute significantly more for enhancing the capacity instead of launching some administrative reforms without any impact assessment on whatever. They just say, okay, let's concentrate everything in Brussels and everything is going to be okay. No, the reality is like this. If you don't build another runway in Heathrow, for example, or in the major airports all over Europe, what if you have an administrative reform? How you have to accumulate the increase of the traffic? We need something practical, some real projects.
And on the other hand, there is the mirror effect, because there are some operators that want to launch new projects for new big airports. For example, in Poland, they want to build a new Polish central airport close to Warsaw and so on, a new major hub, or the situation that happened in Istanbul as well. But there is no regulation. The innovation is on hold because of the regulatory problems. And you can actually increase the capacity by building new airports and new services because you don't have the regulation that needs to be there in order to start the project in itself. So in technological terms, innovation, technology, can you apply them now, or you have to wait for any political will and administrative will, not just in Brussels, but in all of the countries that are involved in order to proceed ahead?
All stakeholders in aviation should synchronize their actions. This is another big problem, because everybody is doing something locally instead of having a common project which might contribute to reducing the delays. So we have some technologies, but politicians, they have to decide how to implement these technologies everywhere. Because if you implement a particular technology here, okay, you will solve the local problem, but what's going to happen in the other states or air navigation service providers? So we need a common project at the network level, which will support the whole airspace. Otherwise, yeah, technology is here. Of course, we need some more developments. We need to have a political will, but you know, if you don't have a European regulation, it's very, very difficult for a particular state to build an airport, let's say, because they need to consider many factors, even some Green Deal issues. So we need a will from above, from the European politicians, and they have to consider all the opinions. I mean, for all aviation stakeholders, because if we have airport issues, which means that the whole system will have issues. Everybody along the chain should be part of these projects.
And last but not least, from what I'm hearing, are you ready as Bulgaria and as Bulatsa to act as either a mediator or a leader in proposing all those changes on a European level, and given the best practice that you have, taking this forward?
Absolutely. Now we are in a stage of preparing a document. We internally decided to prepare a particular document for proposals for improving the European network, because we can see that the fragmentation is significant. Everybody is launching something, but there is no something consistent. So in the first part of this document, and probably will be ready till May, will be ready, we discussed the problems in the European network. The second part is concrete proposals for improving this. So yes, the answer is very easy. It's yes, Bulatsa is planning to be a moderator and to try to create some better pictures to the politicians, and to try to push them to realize the reality, and to try to reduce this gap between professionals and politicians.
And this proposal that you're talking about, I imagine you'll be acting as an aggregator, aggregating all the proposals from all the regions that are viable and that will bring sustainability going forward.
Exactly. First of all, our first plan is to prepare this document, and after that to try to share this document in the various forums. After that, for sure, we will have friends and people with a similar opinion who will join us, and we will try to contribute, to have a real contribution to some particular projects which might enhance capacity and reduce delays. So we will send the documents to various authorities, including the European Commission, Eurocontrol, EASA, and we will try to offer them our expertise in order to have a common success.
We'll be very glad if you can, we can be one of the first that you share this document with, so that we can make it.
You're the first one with whom I'm sharing this information, so you will the first that we will provide to you this document.
Thank you very much. Georgi Peev, the CEO of Bulatsa, the Bulgarian air traffic services provider.
Thank you for coming.